Hey folks, we're going to start our new series. What you're looking at here is a dummy load box, which this one you're looking at here was built by Terry over at D-Lab. And this is really essential when you work on bass and guitar amplifiers. And the reason why you need this kind of thing is when you're testing it and you want to connect it to a scope, which you would do right here, you want to see if the signal that you're getting is solid, if it's crackling, if it's jumpy, if it breaks up. And in order to do that, you have to connect the amp to a speaker load, but without the speaker. So what you'll see here is that if I zoom in a little bit, you can simulate a 4 ohm load, an 8 ohm load, or you can do a speaker with a 4 ohm load and a variable volume, which is here, and an 8 ohm. And you also have a watt meter here, which shows you how much power the amp is pushing out. This switch here determines what type of load you're going to have on it. That's this 1 through 4. And you can determine if the meter should be registering from a 4 ohm perspective or an 8 ohm perspective. And then you've got an internal speaker which you can turn on and off, and you've got speakers out, and you've got your amplifier inputs, and then you've got a scope test point. I've asked Terry if he actually sells these, and he said he didn't, but he was gracious enough to send me the schematic. So I'm going to build my own, obviously because I restore amps and I have so many tube amps at this point, I need something like this. So this series is going to be about building this device, and we'll see how that goes. So I want to first of all thank Terry for sharing the schematic, which he did right here, and we're going to build the process. So let me show you what I'm going to use to do this. Alright, so for this project I have a Teletalk intercom, which was made by Weston Electric in Racine, Wisconsin, and this thing, you know, is an old piece of equipment. Nice wood case, which I can refinish and make it look nice. But the part that I love about this is it already has a speaker inside. Now I'm going to have to replace the speaker, obviously, because I'm sure that's not a permanent magnet speaker, but that's okay. It's small enough that I can put a 4-inch speaker in there and have a decent speaker. And the reason why I like this case is this chassis is very, very simple. It's a fairly cheap chassis, and you know, I can harvest. I've got a really good power transformer here that I can reuse on another project. You know, it's got 6.3 and 5 volts, and it's got the 300 volt high voltage side. I've got an output transformer, and I've got a few other things on here which I can reuse. There's a couple of chokes, etc. And the thing that's really cool is I've got this front panel right here. And this front panel, when I remove all these pieces, I can use it to mount the components for this thing, which will be really interesting. So, you know, essentially, I'll have a speaker right here, and I'll have all the parts that I need mounted to this plate. Right? I'll make a new plate, and I'll mount everything I need to it. So I'll have everything at my fingertips, and I've got holes already here, which I'll use for, you know, the inputs, that type of thing. I have most of the pieces that I need to start the project, right? So there's the first piece, and if you look at the schematic here, this is going to be the selector. This is the speaker volume switch. Sorry, and that's illustrated right here, right? 1, 2, and 3, and that dictates how much how loud that speaker gets. So that's right here. It's a rheostat. Then I've got 2 4 ohm 100 watt resistors, right? That's represented right here. I've got that. And I have some B and C connectors. So that's going to be for the test point for the scope. I've got these banana plugs, which will be used for the inputs, right there. And then I've got a number of these selector switches, which I use throughout the design here. And a couple of speaker jacks, right here. So I've got everything I need to get this done. The only thing I don't have at the moment is this watt meter, which I'm waiting for. I was able to get a really good one on eBay for like 10 bucks, and I'll wire that in. And the other thing that I don't have is the selector switch, and I found one of those on Amazon today for $7, and it's a 2-pole 4-position switch. So it'll allow me to pick between one of these 4 positions right there. Okay, so relatively simple. There's no power involved in this thing. It's really acting as a speaker, so I don't have to worry about transformers and power cords and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we're going to do. So this will be I don't think it'll be a long project, but it'll be interesting enough. So first step is I'm going to rip all this stuff out of here, get to the bare chassis. And the reason why I want to keep the chassis in there is because I can mount the switches to it and stuff and keep the wiring underneath and keep it neat. So that's going to be the intro to the project. And then once I get all this done, obviously I can connect it to my oscilloscope and then put my existing amps on there and see how they're looking, because it's you know, they can always be tuned, the bias can be checked, and I have to see if I have any other things that need to happen with those, like caps that have to be replaced and resistors. So this piece of equipment will get a lot of use for me, specifically around the amps. So that's where we are. That's the next project, and we're going to call this the let's see, Terry calls it the ATC. I'm going to call it the dummy load box. This way we don't break the copyright. But again, I want to thank Terry for sending me the drawing here. Really appreciate it, and we'll try to do it some justice. So that's our new project for now. I'm going to start to rip all this out, and I'll come back and show you what this looks like when this is all stripped out, and we'll go from there. All right, this is Ron. Thank you.